Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm not quite sure at this point what I'm going to call this video, but I was laying in bed last night looking at Trend Mood and reading my emails, and I found myself kind of, I guess I jinxed myself. In my last update, my Loba update, I said, oh, I'm not really like lusting after any eyeshadow, and then all of a sudden last night I just am fixated on two palettes. One, the chocolate gold palette from that's going to be on sale during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. I've kind of always had a thing for that palette. Like I liked it from afar, and I almost bought it one time, and when I went to the store, they had just taken it off sale the day before. Like I was just one day off, so I just didn't buy it. But now that it's on sale again, I really want it. And I know I have a lot of the shades in that palette, but I'm really interested in the green shades for that palette. So also, please ignore what's happening in the background. When I initially tried to film, it was really echoey, so I have like pillows stacked in here from my living room. I'm in my kitchen because I needed a table. And this is a blanket that I hung to try to kind of absorb some of the sound so it wouldn't be so echoey. Anyways, the other palette that is like, oh, it is so beautiful. I want the new Colourpop, the green eyeshadow palette. I'm blanking on the name right now, but oh my goodness. I think it's like Just My Luck or something like that. It's beautiful green eyeshadow, and in my brain last night I was thinking, you love green eyeshadow and you don't really have a lot of green eyeshadow, and what if the tones are different? And so I started to kind of do all that. And I know that I'm on a low buy and not a no buy, so technically I can buy those things, but I also know myself that I hate paying for shipping. I'm that person that even though the palette's $12 and I don't actually know how much shipping costs, it probably wouldn't cost that much, but I'm gonna be the person that fills my cart up to $50 worth of stuff just so I don't have to pay for shipping. I know, but so I figured I woke up, or I went to bed last night telling myself, go to sleep. Tomorrow, swatch your green shadows, see where you are, go from there. So I decided when I woke up this morning that why not film it? It might be interesting. So if you're interested in seeing what this turns out to be, I pulled all of the palettes that I think have green eyeshadows in them, and we are going to swatch them and then yeah, just kind of see where we are from there. So yeah, just keep watching if you're interested in seeing all the green eyeshadows that I own. Okay, I had to switch the camera around a little bit. Please again, ignore couch pillows that are over on the countertops and the blanket. I have a couple of towels to wipe my hands off with and dry my arms off with. But for now, I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and try not to knock the camera and pull all of these eyeshadows out, pile them up, swatch them, and as I swatch them, I will put them back in here. So I think I'll speed through this part instead of talking about it, but we'll talk about them after they're all swatched. Okay, I have my phone, and I'm gonna be also trying to put a picture somewhere up here of the palette that I'm talking about so that we can look at it together. So the first shade that I do like, it's that minty green shade from the palette, and I think the closest thing that I have to it would be from my Lorac palette. And so, yeah, this Lorac palette. I'm just kidding. And so this would be it here, Light Sage. And I do think that the Colourpop one seems to have a little bit better pigment and color payoff, but I do think that if built up, I could probably get a similar effect with that. So that's okay. I do really like that Colourpop shade, however. And then the next one is a more like matte true green. And so I think the closest I have would be from this here NYX palette shade, or possibly one of the BH Cosmetics shades built up. So this shade here was from the NYX palette, and this is actually, I think, pretty dang similar to the picture that I see. However, I like both of those palettes okay, both the NYX and this, but sometimes these can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to like build up. Like you want them to have a little bit more color payoff than they have, and I shouldn't have to struggle to get it built up. But I do think that you can get it there. It's just, sometimes I'm a little lazy and don't like to work that hard. So all in all, I think the first two shades I have. The next shade is a very pretty, kind of deep, not too blue leaning metallic green. And so when I look at this, I think, okay, this is probably the closest thing I have to it would be from either the Shine Bright palette in the shade Spruce here, and let me swatch it again and try to build it up, and let's see. I think it was here. So it's a little deep, I think, compared to the photo, but I think that also could be just really good studio lighting. But perhaps if I layered both moss and that, yeah, I think that's a little more similar, maybe. I don't know. But let's see, moss back over, yeah, here. Yeah, I mean, close enough. Probably not 100% a match, but very pretty still. And then the next shade is it's still a metallic shade, but this one's more like a bright blue, or a green that almost looks like it has a little bit of blue in it or something. I don't know. It's just very bright. Maybe that's my confusion. And so I think the closest thing that I had to it are perhaps the Colourpop shade here, Cusp, and the Pure palette. And maybe these could be built, like I could layer them. So let me try that here. I'm gonna get another swatch of Cusp, and let's just put it over here. So let's do that, and then let's go on top with the green from the palette, the Pure My Little Pony palette in Loyalty. And actually, let me stick my face in here awkwardly. This green is what I have on the inner corner of my eyes today. So yeah, let's just try to mix that. Actually, let's try it the other way too. Let's try Loyalty first and then Cusp on top, and let's just see what happens. Because I honestly like these Colourpop shades as toppers more than as bases. The matte ones make better bases, but yeah. So Cusp definitely has like a blue shift to it, and I think that it might lean more blue than the Colourpop shades, but all in all, I'm not mad at it. Like, it's not a bad option, I feel like. Yeah, not a bad option. Okay, the next one is pretty exciting. I feel like I have it pretty well. And that would be that yellowy greenish color, and this from Neon from BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette I think is spot on, and that was this shade here. So let me just extend it. I don't know why I re-swatched it. I already did it once, but this would be it. And then also the shade from the Saharan by Juvia's, that one's really not, it's a little bit more gold, less green, but I think either one would work. So I'm really satisfied with that. Now the next shade is very pretty. It's a very olivey metallic-y green. And I think I have a couple that are close, but the one that strikes my eye the most is this Morphe one here. So let's pull it out. This is from the 35M Boss Mood? Yeah, Boss Mood palette. And I believe, based on what I see, it would be this one here. So let's see if we can build that up. Yeah. I really like this color. I actually haven't worn that palette at all yet, but I decided to pull it out. And I think that maybe the Colourpop one looks a little more deep than that, but all in all, I think it's not bad, and I would be satisfied with that. Now the next three are a little bit harder. I think the next one actually is one shade that I just don't have, so I need to really ponder, is it worth buying a palette for one shade? Because I feel like so far I'm able to dupe most of the palette. So the next shade is like a green with a little bit of teal, and it's a deep matte color. I hope my descriptions aren't too horrible. I really don't think I have anything. So off the top of my head, this is a very deep shade, and I might be able to layer another shade maybe from the BH Cosmetics palette. Let's just see if we can play with it for a second. So it would be this second one. Oh wait, no, that is from the Jaclyn Hill palette, duh. Okay, so this would be from the Jaclyn Hill palette. This would be that dark, very dark green shade here. And let's try, I'm running out of places to swatch, but let's try here. And then let's just grab a tealy color, maybe this guy. And let's see what happens if I layer that on top. Not great, but not awful. Actually, I didn't really do this shade. I'm just curious. Oh, that's too blue. See, that's too blue. So, I feel like not actually the shade, layering those two shades creates more of the next shade that I was going to talk about. So I really don't know if I have something in my collection that really, actually let me take that blue shade and lay it over the top. And then we're like making our own shades over here. And go back over the top here. So maybe I could get close if I were to play with this blue and then that dark green shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette. I might be able to figure out a shade that's kind of similar to this unique tealy green shade. Now the next shade over is a dark, very dark matte green. I think I have that. I mean, the Jaclyn Hill shade is pretty, actually I think it's a little bit more, it leans a little too black versus green, but all in all, if I'm using a shade like that, it's going to be to deepen up the outer crease anyway, so I think that you probably would lose it anyway, so I'm not really worried about that. And so, you know, I think the last three shades I'm just going to say I'm good with. Yeah, so this would be all of these. Okay, and to loop around to the chocolate gold palette, I just found a picture on Instagram, but I'll try to insert a photo here of the swatches. And I think the main two shades in it that I just am so drawn to initially, I mean, all of the shades are pretty in this palette, let's be honest. But initially, that very bold, deep green metallic. And again, I think that my closest thing are gonna be either one of these Lorac shades in Spruce, or I forget what this one's called again. Spruce, or it's from this palette, Moss. Probably gonna be my closest bet to it. Yeah. You know, this shade is so pretty, that Wet n Wild shade. I need to wear it more. Also, you know, this shade here from the Pure palette that I'm wearing today really isn't too dang far off from it. It's probably not as deep, but I bet if I kind of layered a deep shade underneath it and then use that as a topper, like, it would be fine. And then the other dark greeny shade on that palette, I really do think that it's very similar to some of these olive greens in the Morphe 35O palette. And then also this NYX shade here is very pretty, and I've never even really used this particular green shade in that palette. I've used some other shades there, but like, that's a shame. Also, this Pure shade from the Grinch palette, solid choice. And I think all in all, like, it would still give me very similar vibes to what I would create if I had the chocolate gold palette. So we'll see. We'll see if this helps hold back on the temptation to buy another palette because let's be honest, I have plenty of greens, but we'll see if my willpower is strong enough. Also, I just want to say, for those of you who are interested in my nail color, this is an H&M polish in green as gold. And so yeah, I thought that was fun. And yeah. Okay, I think that I can officially say that I am finished with swatching and talking about these palettes. So for now, yeah, I hope you enjoyed swatching and playing with me, and let me know in the comments if there's something tempting you. What are you doing to either talk yourself out of it or talk yourself into it? And be sure, if you like these kind of videos, give this video a thumbs up. Wish me luck in getting this off. I'm a little scared. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.